Yes, the U.S. Constitution, where the law of the land is protected and the citizens have a lot of influence about what direction their lives will take, here more specifically at the Bill of Rights.
This is the Bill of Rights the 13 colonies keep pushing. Very well, let's read. Freedom of religion, speech, and congregate, right to bear arms, speedy trial, no cruel and unusual punishments. What is this? What is this?
I'm a time-traveling reporter guy who is a combination of many different people. Here we have the Bill of Rights, ratified in the U.S. year 1791, giving the U.S. 10 rights that shall never be infringed, unless... This document has been referred to over 1 million times, and in this case we see King George, who has recently been given the Bill of Rights in 1792, and his reactions on each individual part. The First Amendment gives us the right to free speech, assembly, peaceful protest, and petition. This obviously would not benefit the king in any way, shape, or form.
Freedom of religion, freedom of press, freedom of speech. I do not believe I have once taxed the freedom for people to speak or people to use the printing press. Why wouldn't people want to join my glorious church? It's the best. People congregate there all the time. Freedom of assembly. I haven't taxed that yet, have I?
At this time in England, there was religious beef going on, which is stated as such, basically saying that you have to be one religion and all others were a big no-no. In the US, we have no such religious beef, and the First Amendment actually sounds like a wonderful idea. However, there are obvious limitations on what you can do, such as incite violence or post about your school on social media after school hours because you are upset you didn't make the varsity cheer team. The Second Amendment is commonly stated as the right to bear arms.
Bear arms? Bear arms? If we went and stole every bear's arms, they would all die out! Who knows what could happen then? And also, why do we need a militia? We have the Navy! The Navy!
Interesting concept, the idea of actual bear arms being involved, considering the bears were already extinct in England. This type of civil warfare of everyone using the limbs of an animal would come as nothing but a big flex from the Americans saying, ha, we have bears and you don't. The Second Amendment actually promising that we have the ability to hold weapons necessary for the citizens to be able to protect themselves from any invader such as foreign powers or our own government. The Third Amendment describes that no soldiers can just live in your house without your consent. We have a right to property unless the government passes strict rules in a time of war.
Well, I'm the king. Their houses are my houses. And if I say I want soldiers in there, they're well gonna be in there. Of course soldiers need to barge into random houses and steal food and money. How else would I, pay for my navy? My navy!
This reminds me of the scene from The Hobbit where all the dwarves show up and ransack the house and Bilbo is just sitting there like, what is going on? The Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unnecessary searches without probable causes or a warrant. This is a concept which is still being tested all the time as well.
In 2002, in the case Board of Education v. Earls, the Supreme Court said that the Pottawatomie County, Oklahoma School District's drug testing policy was legal. Everyone who wanted to participate in the district's extracurriculars had to submit to random urine tests for drugs.
Dad, I want to join the mathletes. Now, son, I'm sorry, but I can't do that unless I know for sure you aren't a druggie. Go to school and let them drug test you.
This is them searching our bodies for drugs without probable cause. Our house is property, but our own bodies aren't. This is very controversial with anti-maskers as well as anti-vaxxers and the pro-life/pro-choice movement, and I'll leave it at that for the sake of my government grade. The Fifth Amendment gives us our rights in criminal trials, such as we don't have to testify against ourselves, we cannot be charged for the same offense twice, and this is where the innocent until proven guilty comes in.
How will any court session be fulfilled if the prisoner-to-be doesn't answer any questions?
What if they're innocent?
That doesn't matter! Throw them in!
One thing about this amendment is the double jeopardy clause, which states that no one person can be charged for the same crime twice. So as soon as the verdict comes back innocent, you can say, yes, I did it, I killed those people, and there is nothing anyone can do about it. One famous case of this is O.J. Simpson, because he could never be accused of the murder of his wife, even though he admitted to it later on. The Sixth Amendment, all about the right to a fair and speedy trial, specifically that we have the right not to wait an excessive amount of time for a trial. However, speedy isn't defined in the Constitution, and so many people have still had to wait months or years for their cases to be resolved.
So, you're telling me that my gods cannot go out there and throw some innocent child in prison just because he stole an apple? How would this country work?
We also have the right to a public trial to help prevent shady stuff from going on, and oh boy has that been effective. The 7th Amendment gives us the right to a jury in civil cases, which is helpful for preventing corrupt government or for government officials to take sides.
So a jury, a random selection of people that could know this person, are just going to select his fate? I cannot decide that. It's us now, it's every commoner on the streets. That the commoners, those who do not bathe and are constantly covered in their own mud and dirt, deserve the honor to decide the fate of anyone else.
The idea of a jury provides comfort in knowing that instead of one person making the decisions, there's a group of people, which has completely eliminated all bias and corruption and has never caused a wrong decision to ever be made. The 8th Amendment protects us from cruel or unusual punishment. This means we will never have to pay excessive bails or fines, and the punishments fits the crime to a point, but will never result in torture.
So you're telling me that my judgment as king is suddenly invalid now that I cannot select the perfect punishment for the crime? So you're telling me now that children that don't steal apples should be force-fed apples and then served to other children?
We will never torture our prisoners, we just send them to solitary confinement, which can permanently alter a person's brain, make them go actually crazy, and cause them to never be a functioning member of society again. The 9th Amendment says that we have rights that may not be written down in the Constitution. So what is a right? Rights are legal, social, or ethical principles of freedom or entitlement.
Paperwork. Our glorious nation has all of its laws written on paperwork. You're telling me if I go down to the colonies right now and I see a man scaling a building, he can just do that? There's no law that says he can't, so he can just scale it? I see a man scaling his own building. I can't immediately send him to prison. I don't want to see you scaling a building with my own eyes.
This amendment makes sure we have more than what is written down, such as the right to privacy or the right to marriage. The 10th Amendment gives the states the right to create their own laws as long as they don't violate what is in the federal constitution.
So the states are stupid enough to just allow all of them to make any stupid laws willy-nilly that affect only their own land? Why would anyone do this? This makes no sense. Have one strong leader make the laws for all the lands.
This has led to things like Jim Crow laws, which has made racial segregation legal, as well as more recently with voter restriction laws and stricter marriage laws.
This is all trash! Throw it in there with all of the children I've unjustly put in prison.
However, these problems have led to the federal government passing more laws which try to do what is best for the people. They abolished legal segregation and made same-sex marriage available countrywide. The Constitution and federal laws are changing with time, and so we will see some ups and downs in the country. The Bill of Rights paved the way for fair treatment for all citizens across the country and making sure that we are able to develop into the best country in the world. Although it was written at a time where women had no rights and slavery was still legal.
You're not supposed to be smart, Nolan. You're supposed to be dumb.
I'm sorry, I'm channeling my own smartness here. Gyrate back into it, and I'm back in.
Yeah.
Cut off a bear's arms in the middle of the woods and leave him there. This is my constitutional right to do this, Cletus.
So 9th Amendment, any right that is not in the Constitution, the people kind of have.
You have the right to have malaria. Also be attacked by my dog.
So can you take the thingamajiggy off?
Hey, this thingamajiggy is my son, sir.
Dad, I want Papa!
Hey there. My name's Joey. I'm single, I'm 32. I like model train sets, long walks on the beach.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
God, I forgot about my hair. Are you doing? Why am I so dumb? Ooh, my hair again. Oh my god, my hair won't stay up, it won't stay out. My god, dang face. This has led things. laws and more. Why is this not working? The scroller not working. The scroller won't scroll. Federal government. Federal. I can't say the word federal. It's the double. One thing about this amendment is the double. The right to not. Specifically. Oh boy, my hair.
That took so goddamn long. Oh my god.
God, my throat is itchy today. And I don't have corona. Don't worry. I've been tested several times.